name is Courtney Hunt, and I'm going to be performing a cardiac assessment on Anthony Casanelli. First, I'm just going to start by inspecting his precordium. It's smooth and no lesions noted, no scarring that I can see. There's no abnormal pulsations that I can see. Next, I'm going to palpate his precordium on both sides. There's no abnormal pulsations felt, no thrills or heaves that I could feel. Then I'm going to go on to auscultate the valves of the heart. First, I'm going to auscultate the aortic valve, and that's going to be at the right sternal border at the second intercostal space. Then I'm going to move on to the pulmonic valve. That's going to be on the left sternal border at the second intercostal space. Then I'm going to move on to Erb's point, which is just a little lower at the third intercostal space, also at the left sternal border. And at Erb's point is where I'm going to listen for heart sounds S3 and S4, which are abnormal heart sounds. Then I'm going to move on to the tricuspid valve, which is going to be at the fourth intercostal space, also at the left sternal border, and then the mitral valve, and it's going to be mid-clavicular line at the fifth intercostal space. Before I listen, I'm just going to palpate the apex of the heart. I'll start by using my whole palm of my hand and then try to localize it with just a couple of my fingers. And I can palpate the apex of the heart, and it's about the fourth intercostal space, mid-clavicular line, and it's just a gentle tap that I can feel. I didn't hear any adventitious sounds. I could hear S1 and S2. S1 is heard best at the mitral valve, and S2 is heard best at the pulmonic valve. And then something else I can do to rule out any extra heart sounds, S3 or S4, is that I can listen at the apex of the heart with the bell of my stethoscope and have Anthony turn on to his left side, which will kind of push the heart further to the chest so I can just hear those more lower pitched dual sounds. So if you could just turn a little bit to your left side. Okay, rest back. And again, I didn't hear any third or fourth heart sounds. And when we're using the bell of our stethoscope, it's important that we just use light pressure. If not, it'll muffle out those sounds, the S3 and the S4 sounds. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to palpate his carotid artery. And I'm just going to do one side at a time. And both sides are palpable. And I'm just going to go ahead and listen for bruise. Can you hold your breath for me? Alright, take a breath in and then hold it. And no bruise were heard.